up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tanzan, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 13.20, the 21st Century Modern Gay Wizard, where we are covering the novel Deadbeat. My name is Tanzan, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello.
And Jess.
Caw-caw, motherfucker.
Chapter 24. The group takes some time to rest and recharge at Murphy's house. Dresden and Butters have a heart-to-heart talk about dealing with fear.
So Thomas is instantly raiding her fridge, which I love.
Okay, no, wait, back up a minute. Harry pulls up, goes, meh, and drives around her lawn. Not just that her driveway goes up and around to the back. There's not even like a little gravel. He's like, I just drive over the lawn and go park in the backyard.
Well, Murphy, by tacit, gave him permission to drive on grass when she drove her motorcycle on grass prior. So he's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It must be, because that was at the bad guy's fucking chateau. Like, she's like, oh, but you can just tear the shit out of my lawn. It's fine.
Led by example.
If you're driving slowly, you're not going to tear out the lawn. You're just going to flatten the grass. It's fine.
Let's hope so. So I did water your indoor plants. Your outdoor stuff, however,
Little garden.
I did that
to the side.
no favors whatsoever.
It's going to rain because of the bad weather. You're fine.
Yeah. But yes, then after that.
Yeah, I love that he does grab a glow stick from his handy dandy cardboard box, which still has holy water balloons. Yes. But like the description of the other things, I was like,
Right?
what the fuck?
Right.
Old socks and a heavy potato. Like, are we beating people with sock potatoes now? Like,
I mean, yeah. Also,
Just a good old game of Knickerbocker.
I don't think that's how that game goes, Jessica.
why does that sound awful?
I don't know, because it's an undergarment and not a game, and I don't know. That's not what the Knicks play anyways, so.
Good old game of whack fuck?
Whack what fuck? What the fuck is it? Yeah. I'm thinking he's like, just in case he's got to like jam up someone's tailpipe or something. I don't know. I'm sure Harry has had some very interesting uses for things, definitely in the wizardly side, outside the box. But yeah, it raises all kinds of questions when he's doing with that potato. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Harry's like, I just don't get to eat often enough that like, I can't just keep an apple in here. That'll go bad. Just a bit of potato will last a fucking long time. And I'll just, rip that sucker open and chew on it.
Eventually it'll turn to vodka and I'll have a shot.
One way or another, right? Like I get more use out of this than, yeah. So yes, his definite tickle trunk of, I probably don't want to ask. So hauls himself into the house. They find candles, light candles. I don't know. There's a thing. There's a stuff. And then, yes, Thomas immediately starts raiding the fridge.
I appreciate that too. Like he just logics it. He's like,
I know. Harry's like, dude, don't do that to Murphy. He's like, I'm doing her a favor.
Well, in that case, here's the good stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, good point. Okay, check fridge.
You'd think he would like go for something at least a little bit healthier than just like. There's got to be something other than like the leftover pizza.
Well, at the same time, though, I'm like,
he's not got great food choices anyways. So.
Well, no, I mean, Harry is, yeah, we know he likes SpaghettiOs and Coke and stuff like that. Harry's not exactly about the... And also, I'm like, Murphy's a cop. So we know we've seen lots of times where she's just eating the crap because, again, it's like you got to be on the go and whatever. You don't always... Plus, I take it as, what, Murphy's... I'm surprised there's even pizza. Like, I'm thinking, like, was this accidental or is he talking, like, frozen pizza? I guess he's not. Yeah,
frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza. But, yeah, because I was like, she would have cleared out... Like, if she's gone away for a few days, I would think Murphy's the type who would clear out her fridge. Right, so it's not sitting there and going, I'm like, I'm not here for 4 days. These leftovers won't be good by then. You know what I mean? But either way, regardless, I'm like, yeah. However it turns out, whether Murphy just eats a shit ton of junk food too, or, yeah, they find beer and pizza.
I'm going to guess she's a little healthier eating, just a little bit.
I think
she's a martial artist. She's
she
disciplined.
is. I feel that like when she has the time and stuff, she would be more inclined to enjoy healthy food as opposed to Harry, who just likes junk food and can't be bothered, you know? But yeah, I can also play it on that same as she never has time to go out on a date, that she doesn't necessarily have time to like cook fine meals for herself. So she probably eats more unhealthily than she would like to just for that. But she probably still eats pretty healthy even for fast foody stuff, you know.
Bet you she'd be one of those food prep delivery places is what she would be.
Yeah, right. Something
there.
like that. Or yeah, when she gets a chance, she just stocks the freezer with cooks all day and stocks a bunch of stuff up. And anyways,
And
so responsible.
Harry has skipped the dishes on speed dial.
But you wouldn't be able to heat that pizza up. So it can't be a frozen pizza.
No, he just said that it was a gas stove.
so yeah, he does end up
Is an oven also gas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will have like
Yeah, the
a
whole-
flame thing on the bottom and the top.
the whole thing.
Or sorry, in the bottom shelf. Learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I didn't know about gas and stored stuff in the bottom, and my roommate lit it on fire.
Oh,
Oh no.
yep, that would be.
This is not a warming shelf.
Well,
actually, no, it is.
It's really warm, but yeah,
It's a really crispy one.
it's not the same as the electric one where everybody stores their pots and pans. You're right.
Yeah.
And Harry's all, okay, let's go. And Thomas is like, sit down. Harry's like, okay, let's plan it. He's like, just sit down. You're
I
tired?
do like Thomas
You're
goes
hungry.
totally like mother hen mode.
Yeah, because your leg is, he's like, I'm fine. Your leg's bleeding again. He looks down, he's like, oh shit. So thankfully, he's not yet trailing bloody footprints all over Murphy's house, because that would really be taking it a step too far.
Yeah.
But it's about to. His bandage is rapidly soaking through, so he's like, fuck. And then Butters is all like, I'll take care of that for you. Let me go wash up. And he all wants to, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Thomas is like, dude, let Butters do. Like, he's like, oh, he's fine. I don't need it. I can just, like staple it
Much the
myself.
same in that Thomas is taking control of getting food. Let Butters take control of doing the medicine, okay?
Yeah. And
Easy things that we can accomplish.
And it is a nice touch because, again, not something you would necessarily, not where I was thinking immediately as I was reading this, right? But when Thomas points it out, you're like, oh, yeah, you're right. He's like all this shit that he can't handle and is not in control of and is being forced upon him. And it's like,
It helps him feel a little less.
he can do, this
less
is the one
helpless.
thing he can do,
Right.
right? He's the fucking doctor. Let him at least put your fucking Band-Aid on.
Give him
And-
some control back.
right? He can put your Band-Aid on, or like whatever. He can't wield your staff, like, yeah. And Harry's like, okay, yes, you're right. Like, yeah, it's not that we're making a big deal about it. It's not that it's that massive a wound. It's like, give something easy to Butters, right?
His response, though, is kind of funny, though. It's easier to deal with you when you're a simple, selfish asshole.
Right? Like, you get fucking thinking again.
True.
Like, fucking-
Unfortunately, Harry's pulled 2 stitches, though, which is, ugh.
We get that great line, though, because when he's like, where Butters like does stitch him back up, and he suggests taking antibiotics. Take them now. Take them immediately, because the stuff that at your apartment was like, ugh.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's the worst part of The Walking Dead, the stains.
Right. But yes, it's like, oh yeah, not just regular like dirt and whatever, but it's like, oh yeah, you've had like literal like rotting corpses. Like, yeah, there might be some extra ickies in there. But they go back too, and while Butters is off doing that and Thomas is prepping food, he also brings up the point that, because Terry's like, well, at least Butters is out of this now. At least we've done that much. Gravane was the only one that wanted him, because Gravane was the only one that he knew about the number of things. Now he knows Butter doesn't have them. He's got them already. And Thomas goes, yeah, except that you were like really going out of your way to protect him. And Harry's like, yeah, so. And he's like, so yeah, Gravane doesn't strike me as the type to understand like human emotion, empathy, friendship. So you might have just made him seem a more likely target, because now, why is he so important? What do you know that he doesn't? And Harry's like, fuck.
Right. You've made him valuable.
You've made him
somehow
valuable,
and therefore he is still vulnerable.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand the value that you're putting in him, so therefore there must be something that, yeah.
That's a great insight, really.
Right?
And I could see Thomas seeing that from like growing up in the White
Right?
Court, where that nothing but manipulation and using
Cat
people
paws, yeah.
for
What
what
can I
they
get at?
consider valuable.
Gravane is still a human, though. Even if you're evil, you should still understand technically human emotions. Like,
And this is the question, right? I mean, Thomas does say maybe nothing will come of it, but because he's now all hell-bent on world domination and serving his own... I mean, that's the other thing. He's human, but his point is more like there's a lot of frickin' selfish people that just don't... Yeah, they have empathy, but they don't sort of, like you say, altruistic or whatever, you know? So you're like, I'm not going to die for that. You're like, oh, sure, I'd have no problem opening a door for somebody, but they're like, I'm not going to die for this person. Who the fuck would do that, right?
I can see why you made that choice, but it's not going to be the one I make.
Yeah, and even that. So I think it could even be a little bit more that Gravange's, I mean, type of people that's willing to slaughter the night watchman just to open the back door for you, you know, maybe doesn't understand all that much while you would use your life to protect somebody else's, right? So
He does sort of fit a psychological profile that way. Because
Well,
it's like, well,
that's right.
there probably is a good chance that he would be like, I don't fucking get it. Like, this guy must have something valuable.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, I get Jessica's point of being like, well, he's a human, but I'm like, yeah, but he's also a really bad human. He's not good at being human, so.
But he won't understand why somebody would go out of their way to risk their own life to save somebody that doesn't have anything of value.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, he's already gone beyond sort of the humans should care about this shit. So, yeah.
We get more pep talk from Harry, though, because Butters is trying to apologize about, you know, he recognizes that he did totally fail, stumble, drop the ball in that moment.
Put you in danger more, yeah.
Which is, you know, it's nice for Butters to acknowledge that, but I think, you know, no one's really blaming Butters, okay? And Harry does give this nice little speech about it. Hey, man, this is my world. This is my job, okay? I wouldn't expect you to be an expert at my job, okay? That's crazy talk. I'm good at this, more or less, because I have to do it every single day, okay? I've had toad demons and vampires and bloobity blue stake out my house and attack me before, okay? Me and Thomas have to fight our way out of situations like this once a year.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It makes sense that you are not quite nearly as experienced in this.
As good at and I do appreciate him putting it into those terms because, again, same thing. I do that a lot, right? Like, you get people at work even, you know, and you're like, damn, and I'm like, but of course, yeah, why am I bothered that I'm not as good as, like, selling car parts? I'm like, because I know shit about cars. I don't really care. Of course I'm not good at selling car parts. I'm like, yeah, you're a fantastic salesman. I don't need to be jealous of that because of, you know, I mean, that's not the greatest example, but you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, obviously, like, I'm not as good as that. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, we can all be like, oh, I wish I had superpowers and blah, 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 right? But
yes, I'm good at my job. The transferable skills are nearly zero. That's fine.
That's fine, yeah. And it's funny. It's yeah, sometimes, right, we do that. We look at other people doing things and you're like, oh, it never takes you long to figure, like, how come? And you're like, yeah, because this is what I've been doing. This is why I'm like, oh, that's right. I don't have to feel bad that I can't do magic, you know? I don't have to feel bad that I, you know, can't do martial arts and shit. I'm like, that's not where my wheelhouse is. That's not what I've been trained to do. So, yeah.
And he does give this little bit like, listen, me and Murphy and Thomas were scared every single day and we learned to live with it. You're going to be scared every single day and you'll learn to live with it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you know, once your eyes have been open to the supernatural and you know about it, there's no going back. How do you deal? How do you cope? This is how we do it.
Yeah, and same as, anything else that you come up in your life, you just, you learn to cope or you don't, kind of a thing.
It will get easier with time.
I think one of the things that I really like the most out of his pep talk here is him stating that fear is a tool to keep, it's meant to keep you alive and safe.
Yeah.
And because it like reflects a bunch of talks that I've heard about anxiety too, kind of thing. It's
which is, I was going to say, it is.
And then they use that always as an example because it's meant to keep you safe. So
it's that thing that appears on the list that are like 20 common everyday objects you've been using wrong. You know? It's like, oh, you didn't know that like extra like little like divot in the back of your toothpick was meant to do, you know what I mean? And it's like that. It's like, no, fear is not meant to immobilize you and drive you crazy and ruin your life. It's actually, you're supposed to, you know, get like motivated or realize that, it's seriously like what it is.
It's a warning system that's supposed to help you.
It's supposed to help.
That's the same thing as pain. Pain is warning you. If you keep doing this, bad things will happen, right? You experience pain much sooner than you experience damage, typically speaking, you know?
Typically, yes.
Right? Yeah. It's all just a warning system. You're supposed to be listening to those warnings. It's not inherently bad in and of itself. It's just listening to, you know,
but exactly.
I mean, this is really valid and solid advice. Like, I just love how he presented it.
Yeah. It's like, if you can just remember and use it that way, and not freak out. No, I'm afraid. It's just going to happen.
All right. Mistakes were made and you can heal from it.
Yeah.
You just have to make that first choice to see it for what it is.
Exactly.
And then wraps it all up with this very nice, like, you're done now, Butters, okay? It's time to relax, okay? It's gonna be okay.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, right? I feel that's so hardcore. It's such a nice thing to do, to just tell someone, fight is done, mantle's off your shoulders, you're retired now.
Yes, having said all that, now you can also take a step back. You don't have to keep fighting this fight right now. You don't have to man up to all of it right now and keep
like
it
we
on.
said back before, like in CPR, someone is supposed to take charge and then everyone else is supposed to listen to them. You are not supposed to relinquish charge until there really, really is somebody in charge, right?
Absolutely.
And it's kind of one of those things too, where it's like, Butters, I'm telling you right now that you are out of this one. You are good. Whatever the opposite of drafting is, it's for you.
Yeah.
It's just a nice thing to do, to just be like, yeah, you are discharged. It's not your fight. Stop thinking about it.
Right.
Go figure out how to be a human again.
Yeah, just go back to thinking medical things. And I mean, there's a cute moment in here too where, you know, when Butters is initiating it and he's like, I was useless. I totally held you out. I totally made this whole thing more. And you get the Thomas just like, you know, the I told you so look without actually saying anything. And Harry's like, yeah. Like, you know, like again, you've got this communication and these things going on between like Thomas and Harry, which is really kind of sweet given, I mean, like they have lived together for almost a year. So obviously they must have, you know, developed some, you know what I mean? But it's like, we haven't seen a lot of that on screen. So it's just,
It is cute to see.
It is
nice little brotherly bonding.
Right. Like, yeah, you know, we haven't actually known each other for 30 years, but very quickly we're, right, you know, coming together and just clicking and having these.
And then, you know, like when the coolest guy in school tells you you're his friend and you're equals, and it's like, oh my God, really?
Really?
Jeez.
What?
So nice to be recognized by the all-star, I don't really know the terms. The jock, yeah. Really? We're friends? And not just some guy you come to for medical advice? Really? We're friends? You're so cool, Harry, and you, like, save everyone's life, and you and Murphy are awesome, and I get to be one of you? I'm on your team? We're friends?
Yeah. You're the medic.
Exactly.
So
it's a role, cleric. It's an absolute role. We need one.
Yeah. Every good team, especially with me.
Yeah.
It too.
So real quick, if we're such good friends, how come you didn't tell me you were gay?
Love
Wait,
that
what?
so much. Yeah, Harry's pretty shocked at that.
I'm not gay.
Thomas is clearly amused and plays it up. He comes over and kisses him on the head.
But like, we just had this
He
at the
gets
beginning.
that way.
Angie or whoever that track star or runner was at the beginning, right?
Just a morning jogger. She don't
Yeah,
give her that much
whatever.
credit. We don't know she's a track star.
Inferring from the outside information.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that bad boy. What? No bad boy. What?
What kind of impression are the two of you giving?
This is our running joke, this book.
Right. And yeah, it's.
I think my more favorite part is that, like, nobody really, like, he could have just been like, yeah, I'm related to him. This is my brother. Like,
I know. Why don't you tell anyone?
Nobody says that to him.
And
They're just like,
I get why you're keeping it a secret from the Supernatural Committee, and I guess you keep it a secret from everyone else because you want to get out. What? You're like, who's Angie gonna go and tell? Okay, who's Butters gonna go and tell?
I was gonna say, yeah, Angie might have been a different and been like, yeah, but yeah, I can say Butters. I can, right, exactly.
I
like,
get
well,
why it's such a secret, but it's just so funny.
But
It's
yeah,
just like,
that would solve so many problems if you could just be like, ew, no, that's my. But yes, for whatever their reasons, good or bad, they're not offering that up.
neither of us are gay. We're brothers. He's flamboyant. That's it.
I mean, I get it. He's like,
Okay, he opened up the door holding that saber and shotgun shirtless. Like, I get it, okay?
Well, that's it.
Thomas is weird, but
They've been living together for almost a year, and obviously there's no spare bedroom in this
one
place.
bed.
Right. So, I mean, it does, like you say, it could give the impression that things are more intimate than they. I mean, who's going to sleep on their couch for
there's
a
only
year?
one bed.
Like,
There's only one dresser.
it's not, it's not even a large bed. You're not sleeping at like opposite ends of this thing. Like you are literally sleeping on top of each other in this bed. I don't know, I was going to say, because I mean, it's not like there has been, other than these small things, I'm like him bringing it up. But like you said, there hasn't been like an overt amount of Thomas taking care of, or, oh dear, don't forget we've got a birthday party on Saturday. Oh honey, I packed your lunch for you to, you know what I mean? Like there hasn't been like a bunch of even that stuff. It's just very little and still.
but there's definitely an intimacy that's being picked up on.
Yeah, but he's like, well, you guys are always together now.
You're just
Nobody
a good
lives
team for
there,
fighting
and-
bad guys.
Right? You finish each other's sentences. Those are all coupley things. So yeah, unless you, and again, Harry doesn't have any, I mean, that's the other thing too, is Harry's made a very big, well, not made a big deal, but it's been very right. He's an orphan. He has no family. family. He has no family. So, of course, nobody is, right, going to be going that way without him telling them. So.
Little orphan Harry can't have a brother. He must be gay.
Right?
It makes sense, honestly.
The other way. Which, I mean, really, well, we've only ever seen him date one other person. So, yeah, I'm not gay. And then, ever compassionate Butters. Okay, sorry. I'm not. No, it's okay if you don't feel comfortable. Butters!
The more you deny, Harry.
The more you know, for crying out loud.
And Thomas, he's such a loving guy.
Just puts the cherry on top and
he douses Harry in sleeping drugs.
Right.
That's rude. You can't drug people against their will and knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, it's heavily frowned upon.
So this is a very interesting meal, too, because he has a sandwich, which is funny. It's cute, too. He mentions, like, every couple of bites he's sharing with Mouse, and Thomas is finally just like, you know, roast beef. Give him his fucking sandwich. Like, give him the... But yeah, so he's having beer and pizza. And then I don't know that I would want a cup of tea immediately after consuming a beer. I feel this is like a toothpaste orange juice kind of a thing.
It doesn't say how long this transaction is. Like,
they're eating, and I feel like there's not a long time. I mean, yes, you do have some food and stuff with it, so maybe it's cleansing the palate enough. I feel like this is sort of odd combinations for me here.
I drink tea like 100 cups of it a day. So for me, I also consume it with every other liquid.
But you don't like beer, so you don't drink like tea and pop or something, especially the way Harry takes it. Harry takes it sweet and everything like that. There's a lot of things that I'm perfectly fine with you
What's the difference between beer and Coke or water? I mean, just...
A lot of difference. You like drinking Coke, you don't like drinking beer. So tell me, Jessica, what's the difference between beer and Coke?
But if I do like drinking Coke and I do like drinking tea, what do I care if one follows the other?
I mean, it's not a bad transition. It's not like orange juice and toothpaste, right?
I mean, maybe not the worst, but I was going to say, I like toothpaste and I like orange juice. I don't usually like them in quick succession of each other, so I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's fine. Maybe, I'm sure
I don't like beer, but I don't think beer is like a crazy enough taste.
I don't know, just because it is more of like a...
beer was the appetizer.
Bitter kind of, I don't know, it's just whatever. All right, I'm sure maybe everybody else, to me, there's lots of people that...
It's okay, you don't like butter and mayo, so...
Yeah, you don't get opinions on food.
That mayo is okay.
The only thing she really happily eats is bear claws and crackers.
Oh, not the bear.
Bear
paws.
and bear paws.
Bear paws.
Bear paws.
Yeah, bear. I was like, I never eat bear claws. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Bear paws. The little soft cookie brand people.
Which are disgusting.
They're not. It's the apple ones are good. The chocolate ones and stuff. No, I like the apple
ones.
Even
the texture of them is just bleh.
And the molasses ones are good too. So fine. Apparently it's all cool. Harry has a big old keg of beer and a big old vat of tea, and he could not be happier.
Now he's going to bed.
And he swallows down.
Why does my leg feel so much better? Oh, you bitch.
Yeah. By the way, here's your antibiotic. Just antibiotic.
That's all.
Antibiotic. Here's your other drugs. Yeah.
It was convincing enough, though, once he was less hangry and he's like, oh, yeah, I suppose. Fine.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, I totally get it. I get Harry, you got to get it done, you got to get it done. But again, you're starting to reach the point where you're getting things done is not going to be, like that's like when they used to be like on the construction sites and stuff like that. They're like this. And I'm like, there's only so far you can work somebody because like he says, once you start getting tired, like, yeah, you could stay for another like 4 more hours of overtime. But you're not going to get 4 hours of work, right? You're going to be like, that's going to be like what you could do in the day in like half an hour. Because now you're tired. Now you're dragging it out. Now you don't want to be there. And now, you know what I mean? Like it starts becoming that kind of a thing. So you're like, ineffective time. Exactly. It's like, yeah, you could. But so Harry's like, okay, fine. Especially since now you've already done it and I can't like puke it back out. So yeah. Off he goes. And just again, Thomas is the one to take him down, find him a bedroom, and tuck him in.
Right. The last thing I thought before I dropped off to sleep was that the covers smelled faintly of soap and sunlight and strawberries. They smelled like Murphy.
Aww, just in case anybody forgot, Harry's missing Murphy.
Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling. Chapter 25. Harry falls into a dream state and is propositioned by the shadow form of Lasciel.
don't think we've had a weird dream in a while.
Yeah, the last one was his father.
Okay, fine.
So he
yes.
is doing quite a bit of
Introspection.
dreamscapes.
Yes, okay, you're right. Never mind, I'm just going to...
Last night was his dad.
Yeah. So Harry has a dream.
He's in a hot tub and a hot woman approaches him.
And it's odd.
It's one of those dreams. So,
It is. But it's odd. Because Harry's never been in a hot tub.
She was a little taller than average, had hair that fell
hot
in a
tub?
sheet of golden silk. Her eyes were a deep, deep blue. She had a wholesome appeal.
She sounds lovely.
She lifted golden brows and a faint smile. It just seems like a little bit of every woman we've met so far.
a little bit angelic on the description with the toga and like the
Yeah.
sort of cheesy.
A little bit. But it just seems
And
like
white.
we've got a little bit of Susan here. We got a little bit of Murphy here. We've got a little bit of Elaine here.
A little bit. This is Mambo number 5.
Totally. Culmination
he
of
has
all
a
the
type.
women.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah.
Boobs.
Yeah, describe her boobs, Ari. Describe her boobs. What are you doing?
But what do her nipples look like?
Yeah, how can we know if you really like her if you don't describe her nipples?
This doesn't get old.
I don't read the Dresden Files because it's sexist. We read them because it's hilarious. This moron. We have no respect for him, but it's all fun.
So it's Lasciel. She introduces herself and, has a bit of a proposition.
Yeah, does she ever?
Love Lash. I love her so much.
She's cheeky.
She's so great. Even this apparently not real version of her, just you touch the coin and now you have an STD inside of you and it's me.
Yeah, right. Haha.
Now you're stuck with me.
That's all it takes sometimes. But yeah, it's interesting because he's like, okay, that happened a couple of years ago now. What the fuck? And she's like, oh, but this is the first time you've consciously. So yeah, Harry has commented, it's weird. I feel like I've been smelling sulfur sometimes when I do stuff. And then, yeah.
It's weird. The alphas are like, Harry, no, you smell like sulfur.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. That's where that's probably of the flipping of the cars where he consciously chose to draw on it. The Hellfire.
I don't even think, was that when he consciously, or was it I thought it was when he flared up his stick with a
Running
corpse
from Corpse
taker.
Taker, yeah.
Yeah, I was going
Is
to
that
say.
when?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was trying to think.
Yeah,
like,
I think
when
He's been out so many battles today.
I know, I was going to say, I think that was still his subconscious one, that it was used in that fight, but yeah, it was standing in box.
It was Corpse
and
Taker when he
that-
was like, I have zero choice except this right now.
yeah, because
His name is Harry Dresden! Pow, 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 motherfucker!
pew, 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 pew. The finger guns with that is just, yeah. So now, lo and behold, now she's like, oh, well, yeah, it was kind of there. You had access because, like you say, these little germs are all running around your body now, but you didn't you didn't purposely choose. And now you did, so now I get to say it. Hello, neighbor.
You're like making it sound like she's Osmosis Jones running around in him. Like,
That was a pretty cool show, if I recall correctly.
She is so cheeky. I just love how she's like, yeah, I appear in whatever form, I think my host is going to appreciate the most.
feel free to make requests.
And this
Do you
is
want
the one you
wings?
picked for
A heart?
Harry?
A halo?
Yes, why asking me?
That's got to be one of the worst
Something-
things. Like, it's kind of invasive to look in the mirror of Aristide and see what your true heart desires, but to be able to look at a demon and just build them like a Barbie and be like, I actually don't want to know what you think I would prefer.
Right.
That's not something I need to know about myself.
Barbie's like a Mr. Potato Head, Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Seem like those dress-up games in the early 2000s.
I don't know if I would be like stuck on like, okay, but this is how you showed me you look, so now this is how you look.
First
Because-
impressions, right?
Right, this is how I think you look, so now this is, or I don't know if given this situation, if I would have started like playing with it like a
I
like
think
a
if you start
Photoshop.
requesting changes, you're evil.
I maybe, but I'm like, but I'd also be like really curious, right? Because would my brain not suddenly be like, "Ew, you can have wings," and then like, boom, she'd have wings, and I'd be like, "What about like a unicorn horn?" And then all of a sudden, she'd, right? You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I don't know if my brain would just be like, okay, yeah, this is her, or if I suddenly would start and have some kind of like the genie with Aladdin when he's trying to go through with with Aladdin, but also with like Abu when he does like the car and the ostrich and the horse and the you know what I mean? He'd just be sitting there like, poof, 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 poof. Ooh, I like this one, yeah.
So I wonder if I get shown a demon thinks that I think is most attractive, would I like the next time I saw somebody and I'm like reminded of that, be like, that's not attractive anymore. No.
Yeah, right? Now you just
No.
associate
well,
blonde
great.
hair, blue eyes
Thanks
with
for
the demon.
ruining that for me.
Just living in fear, PTSD every time you see a blonde woman now.
It also makes it interesting because she's like, oh, I appeared based on what, would be appealing. But now you're also asking for changes. I'm like, shouldn't you already have picked the?
Well, that's
So
why
now
I
you
think
don't know?
she's saying, like, oh, you
Like
could
she's
request
sassy.
changes. But she's like, to already get your defenses down, I'm going to look like what I already think is the
You
perfect
could pick
choice for
changes,
you.
but I know you're totally not going to
Exactly.
because I know
And
I
I think
nailed it the first time.
It would be kind of a hairy thing to request that she make herself look ugly as hell. That would have been way better for Harry to be like, yeah, look like me. I don't look like Ebenezer.
First
Like-
of all, you need to be a dude.
yeah, can you look like the Merlin, please? That'd be great. Like, I won't do anything you say then.
Yeah, right.
Can you look like Morgan?
A little shadow man, a little,
Ancient Mai, maybe?
Kravos,
Like-
yeah.
And then Harry's all, okay, well, if we're in my head, I'm just gonna leave, or you can leave, or whatever. I want this dream to end, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't work. And he just came out of this with Corpse Taker, where he was actively able to build defenses and be like, you're not getting into my mind. I'm in a tower defense. Go fuck yourself. And now it's like, just nothing. Like, not even like exerting effort at all. Just nothing to do at all.
I can't wake up. That sucks.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Maybe it's the painkillers. Maybe you just...
I don't have lucid dreams, but I do have kind of moments where I realize that I have been asleep too long. And I've made the effort conscious of like, this dream is going on too long. You've missed your alarm. You need to get up right now. I've had that thought. Like, probably I have that thought like once a month.
I just usually have this dream has gone on too long because I don't like what's happening and it's time to wake up. Not like, well, I think my alarm is about...
When I was a kid, I used to have the reoccurring dreams a lot. I would have the same dream like every night for like months and months and months until I'd had it so many times that I was like, I know what happens next. I know how to change it and I'll change it and I never have the dream again, right? Typically it was nightmares. I would die 100 times in a row and finally by the 101st time I had the dream, I'd be like, I know how to fix this. I'd fix it. I'd never have the dream again. Then I'd have a new nightmare and it would last for like a year or two and I'd have it over and over and over again until I finally
never
had
got
it
to the
so many
fixing
times.
point. I just kept dying.
No.
I had scary reoccurring dreams. And even though I sort of like, it would always be familiar when I wake up and I sort of knew, I don't think I ever got to the, oh, this is how I'm getting out
No,
of this
I
one.
eventually had it so many times. I'd be like, okay, I know how to
Damn.
do this and I'd fix it now, right? And again, like I said, I'm at the
That's
point
even
where I've
just
been
like,
sleeping
I
for
don't have
so long.
fucking time for this subconscious.
No. But to be in the situation that Harry's in, where we've already seen him to date perform these mind shit, and now to be like Lasciel's so far out of his league, he's like, I'm not even exerting effort. There's just nothing happening at all.
Yeah.
It just isn't even possible for me. And she's a little bit like, maybe it's the painkillers, that's fine. But really, like,
It's okay, Harry. happens to everybody sometimes.
we all have performance issues, okay? It's probably the drugs.
Yeah. Harry's like, I don't like this. No, she's glad things in dreams.
Can you send my dad back?
That was bad. Or at least it was getting a little. It was sad, but a little nostalgia. Yeah. So she's like, I'm gonna make you an offer, and he's like, no. But you didn't even hear what it is yet. Don't care.
It is nice that she's provided him a hot tub for this, though.
there is that.
That is a cool thing. If you've never experienced that before, never thought about it before, but this must be nice.
Right, and
Especially if
that's
you're already in pain, and it's a very good manipulation.
Yeah.
Well, and it is because on top of never being able to soak in a hot tub, we know Harry doesn't even regularly get a hot shower.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to weaken his defenses totally.
That's going to be a
She's good at her job.
huge, like, oh my
Pretty
God.
lady in a hot tub. Listen to what I have to say at
We can
least.
do this anytime you want.
Yeah, I can do this all the time.
A little bit different from the first time we had that soul gaze with Lasciel. And you had this man that was
Chained to
hanged and
embedded in a cliff face, chained to, crucified, kind of. Yeah.
right, and you wonder like, oh, is Nicodemus the one who's basically always sitting in a hot tub all the time? In his mind, he's running this beautiful gardenscape. Everything is great. This is what it could be like for Harry if only he could have a little bit more control. Or do you think like, as soon as Lasciel gets her claws in, it's like, fuck you, chain you the fuck up, bro. No hot tubs for you anymore.
Yeah, and that's the risk. You won't know until you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why Harry didn't want to find out exactly.
I mean, yeah, there's really no groundbreaking conversation right off the bat. It's just, yeah, you want me to make a deal with you and I'm not going to do it. That's fucking psychotic. I don't even like that you're apparently been riding tag along this whole time anyways, because that happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah, couple. Yeah, the end.
2.5, like.
Yeah, the end of Death Masks. Then we went through all the blood rites. Now we're this far
Yeah.
into Deadbeat. That's how long.
So,
Yeah.
I don't like that you've been around here for all of that without me knowing.
Yeah, and not just a fly on the wall to everything he's been doing, but obviously exerting some influence because he has been using these unconscious gifts from her, right? So, yeah, not even just that you've just been like, you know, taking notes, but you've been making me do things. But yeah, she does. She tries the usual good old straight up temptation. I can teach you more stuff. I can, you know, just, hone your skills and
yes, 2,000 years worth of knowledge that would never be available to you otherwise. It all sounds good. Obviously, that's what the bad guys do. That's what the Fallen specifically do. But she's very much like Bob, too, where he's telling her, like, no, because that's wrong and evil. She's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's like,
what is this wrong?
You're saying words, but I don't get the point.
Exactly, right? And it's very similar to that Bob earlier, where it's like, Bob doesn't know right and wrong. Bob just is.
Yeah.
Facts and figures, that's all Bob can do. And then Bob had this moment where even Bob recognized evil and was like, Kemmler's so bad, even I'm able to recognize it. And it's almost
even
like
Mab was
right. Even Mab is like, Kemmler's so crazy.
That's not cool, man.
It's a little bit, you know. Now we've got Lasciel, who's right back in that. Like, what do you mean right and wrong? There's only power, motherfucker. Do you want it or not? And it's like, I hate having to keep explaining this to you guys, but some things aren't worth it.
I can make you do things better, Harry. Yeah. Just take the win.
You can use the power for however you want, for good even.
Yeah, she's all like, I prefer a partnership. I don't mind betraying Nicodemus. Let's hunt down all your enemies. What's the issue here? And it's like, again, sounds really great.
Sounds great.
Trust issue.
Don't suppose it all comes for 3 easy payments. $9.95. Yeah, right.
You're not as funny as you think, Harry.
Yeah.
I do like that she does at least know the Lord of the Rings reference.
Well, she's been stuck in his head 2.5 years, okay?
All right. And around for 2000. I mean, it's a really popular book, I'm sure. So she does. She tries to play on that. She's like, you don't have to be just like the useless thug. Like, no, I can be useful and collaborative. You know, so much better.
This is exactly what he's afraid of.
She also uses like different levels. Like, you don't actually have to take up the coin. You can use my shadow self, and it's, you know, I mean, it's not going to be quite as good, but still beneficial.
But just do
any way to get those claws in.
Just the tip, not full penetration.
And this is what Harry's saying, is that eventually,
and what always happens
little by little, it's not going to be good enough. And I will have the opportunity and the chance and the ability to go and get more. And what will eventually stop me from doing that? I have to just never know what apple pie tastes like, and I will never crave apple pie, and I will never need apple pie. As soon as I have my first bite of apple pie, I'm going to start having...
I might want...
Think about it.
There's a really good chance. Exactly.
Well, what I really like what that Butcher's done is this passage that he's put in here. So you really get this sort of depth of what the actual temptation is, because we don't really see, from just this conversation, it's not very convincing until he kind of goes through this part here. My God, it was beautiful. It wasn't merely physical loveliness or the appearance of warmth. It was the whole sense of her, the vibrant, glowing life of the being before me, a life with energy enough to ignite a star. Seeing her smile was like watching the sunrise on the very first morning, like feeling the caress of a first breeze of the first spring. It made me want to laugh and run and spin around in it, like the sunny days of a childhood I can only dimly remember. Like, that's... Yeah. Oh, okay. That's definitely more
not
opening
skin deep here.
Well, and the scary thing, too, is that she's in your mind. She knows basically everything you're going to say before you say it, because she knows who you are intimately. And following that paragraph is, again, when he does still refute her, and she's like, well, I wouldn't have respected you if you'd said yes anyways, and I like that you're defiant, and I like that you're witty, and that's what makes me think we'd be a good partnership, even though I'm being totally genuine.
Flatter. Say
I think it's just scarier, though, on Harry's part, to be like, I don't like that you know all that. I don't like that you are 10 steps ahead of me because you're in my brain, and I don't know exactly where and what and who you know.
And that's the other thing, you know, like, she wasn't able to make contact, but again, to her benefit, that means she's just had to sit there and she's had, without trying to or like actively push her own agenda, right? She's just had 2 solid years to study Harry from the inside and learn.
Well, on top of that, it just seems like this ease. Like it's just like a light flirtation for her, and just effortless. Like, it's just a light flirtation. Like she's like, sure, yeah, no, whatever. Well, like, if you wanna, you don't have to do this now.
For this, it's laying the groundwork of a good first impression. That's all she needs to do.
Yeah, and like you say, it takes no effort for her, because this is the whole point of her existence. What she's been been doing, right? Fish gonna swim, bird gonna fly. She's gonna.
I mean, she is of all the fallen angels are meant to tempt and bribe.
She is the temptress.
Lasciel, the temptress.
Yeah.
This is her gambit. This is her most number one.
This is her. Yeah, like you say, right? Earthly's a thug, and this and that. And,
clearly, she is patient.
There's planners. There's yeah.
She's hella patient.
Right. Butters is a medic. You're a wizard. I'm the.
And even for what she's feeling to be cut off from her main self, her main source of power, to be forced to exist just as a shadow in his mind. Or B, at least I get this whole brand new playground anyways, and this is going to be fun for me to explore anyways, and who cares about the rest of me in the moment when I've got this brand new toy to play with. Like,
Lasciel was just born for like PR and marketing. That's her. She's like, yeah. Can you imagine that would be your lethal combination? If she ever hooks up with like an ad exec or some kind of spin doctor, and oh fuck, man. Yeah.
Perfect.
You're done. It's like, yeah, you'd be like right up there with
her and
Nicodemus and Andrea.
Thomas's sister. Like, oh god.
Oh,
no kidding.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Lara and Lasciel.
Yeah. Right. Oof,
goodbye, world.
You thought I could tempt you before, huh? Yeah.
It's great. I love Lasciel. I'm happy to see her being her own full-fledged character now.
Bing. And we've just gotten introduced to her. What else is going to come then? So, yeah, does her best, but Harry is still
holding strong for now.
No, damn Spot, no. But leave me thoughts.
All that said, it's still Lasciel who takes her leave, not Harry, so.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I see you're not up for this. Well,
yep.
If you just need me, all you have to do is call my name. I won't, I said. I love that. It sort of reminds me of like the Princess Bride there. As you wish. This concludes our episode 13.20, The 21st Century Modern Gay Wizard. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.